Hi everyone, it's Lavinia and welcome to Inktober 2025. I am participating in the Zentangle challenge with prompts and we are at day 13 and this prompt is called Mythograph. So I have two versions here. This one I drew with an Artist Loft metallic pen. You could probably see that it's in green. I just wanted to give you options that you can use other ink pens. I didn't put graphite on here because I wasn't sure if it was going to smear or not, but it's pretty just in itself. This one I use the Artist Loft let's see, 0.3, and I added some embellishments. So I think on the Bijou tile card, I will draw just the general basis, and then here I will probably add maybe the little embellishments as well as on this cardstock. So this was all part of the kit. So it looks a little bit complicated, but it really isn't. And this, I think, is a fun tangle where maybe you just want to meditate, listen to music, maybe have thoughts in your mind, because these repetitive patterns are really de-stressing, so to speak. So let's go ahead, get to the calendar, and break this down. So I am going to use this 0.3, and then I might come back with the metallic pen this time to color it in. I have been using coloring pencils and pastel pencils and a Faber-Castell marker. So let me see if I can just get closer. Okay, so the first step is just start at one point, just draw a wavy line. And then you're going to come back to this point and you're going to aura it and just come down. And then from here, you're just going to start making some branches. So again, just some wavy lines, however long or short you want to make them. And then just coming back from that tip and giving that an aura. I'm going to come up here and just like that. We're not branching out from these limbs that we just drew. We're always going to be branching out from the main stem. So let's go ahead and put another one here. So let's just leave it with these three. Now the next thing is we're going to come back from that main stem and we're going to give that an aura. And as we come to this limb that we added, we're just going to go ahead and go behind it. And we're going to give it an aura on the other side. So you're just going to come down that way. All right, so that's really the second step. And then from here, you're just going to continue on adding these branches. And then just giving that an aura and coming down. Maybe there's one that comes behind this one. Again, you can make them as long or as short as you'd like, going in any which way. And that's why I think this is just very meditative. And coming back from this starting point, the main, and just going to give that an aura and come on down. And then don't forget to do the other side. So just coming down here like that. Then going to go ahead and continue. So you can continue here as much as you'd like. Maybe there's one that's tipping down that way. And maybe another one that comes down this way. And then I'm just going to come back here and just, let's see, probably have to come this way. And follow on down. And then here the tip, I'm just going to go ahead and extend that just a little bit like that. So this pretty much is Mythograph. And like I said, I'm probably going to come in with this metallic pen. And I'll just add this green to first to this outside area. And then it looks like I'm going to skip one and come down the other one. And then it would be this one. And then there's that center line. So that's Mythograph. Let's go ahead and draw that on the tangle on the tile. So I have here my bijou tile. And so this is day 13 of October 25. And this is Mythograph. And this one I'm just going to use just the ink. So again, let's go ahead and make that curved line coming on down, coming from the tip. I'm just going to give that one an aura. And then I'm going to branch out. Now on some of these, I think on this one, I'm going to sort of follow this where I had some lines like this, some that curve, some that are actual spirals, and some that are just open. And we're going to add those little embellishments. So I'll start from here. And then just coming on down like that. Perhaps over here, maybe I'll give it that little bit of a curl. This one almost reminds me of Muka with that open spiral. And then on this side, let's give it a little bit of a curl as well. And then maybe here, just one that goes like that. So now we're going to go ahead and aura the main stem. So see how that already gives the effect as if it's growing sort of facing you. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same on the opposite side. Just give it that aura. And now from here, we're going to add some more of those tendrils or branches. There's no right or wrong here. You're just drawing Maybe there will be one close spiral there. It comes like that. And let's go ahead and give it that aura. When I first saw this, I wasn't sure I was going to like it as much as some of the other ones, but in drawing them and practicing them, I actually like it, again, just for that kind of calmness that I think it brings. So here, let's go ahead and maybe have one going the opposite way. Perhaps that muka shape. Let's have one heading downwards like that. Going to come around and come that way. And we'll give it one more aura. Again, if you're doing one side, don't forget to do the other one. That way it just evens it out, especially if you're coloring it in. Okay, now I'm going to add those little spheres. So maybe I will add one here. I'm going to ink that in. Perhaps a smaller one here. Maybe a little tiny one up there. There's one that's perched right here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a reflection just by putting a little tiny little dash, little curved dash. Perhaps there's one. Let's put one in here. Let's put a couple in there. Then maybe just some little tiny ones and a large one here. The little reflection. Let's also just go ahead and extend this. And perhaps there's one sitting right here. And then just a few, perhaps, that are just suspended, whether they're suspended in air or underwater. And maybe there's one here. Okay. So I think this is a fun one. I know it's called Mythograph. Maybe it's some alien plant or creature or land. But I think, again, that this is a fun one, and I hope you give it a try. Let's go ahead now and see where we can add this. Now this can be added pretty much anywhere here. Maybe it could be growing out of here, behind that. Let me think about that. Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a try as if it's growing out of here. These lines, the weight of the line is very thin compared to everything else. So I will come back to Cochumbros and give it a little bit more depth. I might do something to this aura. But let's go ahead. Let's see. Maybe I can have it seem like it's growing this way. Well, until you put pen to paper, you don't know. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So I think I will have that main stem coming this way. Just coming on down, and then we're going to add those branches, giving it an aura and coming down. Going to give it that little bit of a spiral. Have that go behind the aura fox. And now I'm going to give this an aura. Okay, for this particular tangle, what you do on one side, you'll continue on the other. So we're going to go ahead and give it that aura on the opposite side. And now some more of those branches. Like that. Maybe there's one that continues this way. So these are just some free form shapes. Now I'll give it that aura. And we'll give it the aura on this side. And see how that's filling up this space that was here. Let's go ahead and again, maybe that's going behind Cochombros there. And maybe there's another one going behind the Auravox. Let's give it that aura. And then that aura on this side. So it's looking like that. And let's just go ahead now, and I think I'm going to make this line just a little bit thicker. And I'm going to put in some of those orbs because that will fill in this space. And perhaps over here I will put one too. A little bit of a reflection. So here I may not have them being suspended, but suspended by themselves. But I am going to add a few in here. I'm going to add one in there, and I'm going to darken that spot. Perhaps one hidden right there. And when you fill in those spots, it really does make a difference, I think. Just going to go ahead, do that. And maybe we'll put one in here. Or actually, maybe what we could do, let's go ahead and add bijou here. think that'll be fun to add little bijou, and then we'll just darken that area there. Okay, and maybe there's a great big orb right here. Okay, so there's bijou. Now let's go ahead and grab our graphite. So I have here a 4B and then my tortillon. So let's go ahead and definitely add some down here. Adding some behind these branches. I am going to ink that in. I think that area right there. But yeah, I think this is a fun little tangle. With some of that leftover graphite, I'm going over these little spheres. Just have to figure out what I'm going to do here. So, but that is it for Mythograph. And I hope you give it a try. Definitely a lot of different possibilities with this one. That is it with that metallic gel pen. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye.